It looks like the US plan in Venezuela is already crumbling because Reuters is reporting that 16 oil tankers from BRICS member countries, which include Brazil, Russia, China, of course, India, plus even Mexico and a bunch of other countries are breaking the American blockade and loading Venezuelan oil. So what's going on here? Because according to the United States, Donald Trump and many of his minions, including Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, the whole point of this whole thing where they went to Venezuela, kidnapped President Maduro, brought him to the United States, killed 80 people in Venezuela. But the main point here by the United States is that it's going back to the Monroe Doctrine, or as Donald Trump likes to call it, the Donroe Doctrine, whereby the entire Western Hemisphere belongs to the United States and whatever belongs to Brazil, Argentina, or Venezuela, for example, belongs to the United States. And the United States sure as hell will not allow its main adversary, China, for example, to extract cheap oil from Venezuela. So the United States went in, grabbed Maduro in a daring Delta Force operation where they had the exact replica of Maduro's house inside some secret lair of the CIA where the Delta Force was planning and training it over and over and over again to the point where they could do it blindfolded. All of that, including, of course, 80 Venezuelan lives lost, just to make sure that China does not keep getting all of the oil. But all of this is no longer the case because China is getting all of the oil. And there are also unconfirmed reports that are saying that China is considering sending a naval escort to their oil shipments to and from Venezuela to make sure that the United States doesn't do anything nefarious. Now, from the United States point of view, they are in a lose-lose situation because China is daring the United States do something about it. Come and stop our oil shipments. Look, we are not doing it in a shadow fleet. We are not turning off our, navigation. We are taking oil from Venezuela in the open. America, do something if you can. And for the United States, who've already said or ordered Delcy Rodriguez, who's the new president of Venezuela, that you cannot send oil to our adversaries, which of course include China, she doesn't seem to have listened. Or even if she did, she's like, if you don't want China to take oil from Venezuela, which you now run, America, why don't you go and stop China? So again, the United States is in a lose-lose situation. It can go and stop Chinese oil tanker if the United States, God forbid, and this is the scenario none of us should pray, none of us should want this to happen, okay, which is the United States going and attacking a Chinese oil tanker. Then we are in World War III. Cancel your work the next day. Don't go to school, because if the United States dares and attacks directly a Chinese tanker, then China will say it's game on and it'll be World War III. But on the other hand, if the United States doesn't want to, especially I should say Trump and the power players of the United States spend days in a nuclear bunker, they should do the other option which the United States has, which in this case is do nothing. Let China get their oil from Venezuela. Let Chinese cars, Chinese tech be in Venezuela, continuing to dominate, which they do, by the way. So in this scenario, the United States would have gone through all of the trouble of, extracting Maduro and doing a multi-month-long raid all over Venezuela, killing all of these random fishermen. For what? Because if China can just keep getting their oil from Venezuela and all of China's investments in Venezuela so far seem to be secure, they didn't lose anything.